It will start to grow now. I think it only connects on their side at 10.
Yeah, it's literally just opened half a second ago.
Okay, cool. Just want to make sure. Usually when I come on, there's like 50 or 60 people. I think yesterday was my most boring crypto day ever, actually, in the history of crypto. Since the day that I got into crypto, yesterday was the most boring day.
Yep, same. 2 years of show riding. It's the worst.
Yeah, the fact that I managed to have fun, because I actually did have fun on the show yesterday. But the fact that I actually managed to have fun on the show yesterday, with a day like that, I came out of it. I was like, what the fuck happened there? You know what it was? It was that airplane story. That airplane story just blew my mind. It made me happy.
Yeah, the way you showed the video, and then you're like, how do you lose that?
It's crazy. I mean, look, as I said, the Biden administration, I mean, I wouldn't put it past them. Yeah, I would probably go as far as to say the worst administration in the history of American administrations. Yep. Better be careful what you say, because you saw Russell Brand now that they want to try and cancel him. Better be very careful what you say here.
No, you actually do. You like it's a genuine risk, as awful and as ridiculous as it is. It's you do need to be slightly careful.
Yeah, better be very careful. Also, I don't know if you saw, but the first thing that happened was YouTube demonetized him, and like, I mean, he makes a lot of money on YouTube. First thing that they did, YouTube demonetized him. Like, you're talking like they didn't even they just demonetized the guy. No questions asked.
Yep.
They made some apparently false accusations though against him. He uploaded a video of the day, like a 5-minute video explaining it all, saying like he refutes these things. Sounds like, underage girls and stuff, but he says it's not true. Maybe that's why. Maybe it's more.
He has spoken multiple.
He's not the first. He's not the first truther this happens to. I mean, this is how they do it.
Yeah, I mean, also remember he was a heroin addict at one point, and when he was a heroin addict, I haven't done heroin, but I can imagine what heroin's like, and it's not. What's the word I'm looking for? You may not remember everything that happened.
No, this is the thing. Like considering his past, I'm not saying whether he did or he didn't. However, from people I know that have gone through that experience, they've done some very questionable things whilst in that state. And I mean, you're not in your right mind, but it's whether he did or he didn't.
I've seen Fred in that state. Not on heroin, but I've seen Fred in that state. And I mean, he's done some crazy shit. And then on Monday, in the office when I confront him, he doesn't remember most of it.
I've never done heroin. I've gone down the oxy rabbit hole. It's pretty deep. You don't want to go there.
Sure.
Yeah, man.
You literally don't remember anything.
Yeah, I mean, either way, the more you talk out, the more you expose, the more risk you are at for this sort of situation. I mean, it wouldn't matter whether he did or he didn't. They can label you with whatever it is that they want, and when you have to prove you're innocent, even if you are innocent, I mean, it's a tough battle.
Yeah,
I don't really ever kind of quote Leia, but she did make a good point that someone like Cardi B is publicly confessed to drugging people, and I can't remember what it was, drugging people and doing something else, and
drugging people
and nothing happened to her. So
drugging people and stealing their money.
Yeah, and so there clearly is an agenda.
You know what's really scary is that the first people to comply were actually YouTube. The first people to knock the guy out was YouTube. Just think about that. YouTube have become custodians of like what they think is right, they're gonna air. What they don't think is right, they're not gonna air. And that's fucking scary. It's basically,
man.
I mean, it's not very different. It's not very different from the Chinese. It's not very different from the Chinese authorities, like what they can and can't air on TV, or like North Korea. It's not very different.
Yeah, the only difference is that they go about it in a polite manner, whereas the Chinese go about it in a very direct, authoritarian manner.
Exactly. They just remove you off the channel at their own discretion. End of story.
Yeah.
The question is, at what stage do you become too big? Because you listen to a guy like Mr. Beast yesterday on the All In podcast, and the guy is totally, he swears by it. He's dependent on it, and he uses the term common sense to differentiate him between other influencers that are sort of getting banned and doing stupid things on the platform. But I suppose at what stage do you get too big, right? Because
I think Mr. Beast basically never does anything that's controversial because he knows what the implications are, and he's in inverted commas smart enough not to risk where his bread is buttered, right? But like there's some people that, like me, for example, for me, right and wrong is more important than anything, and like that's the problem. Like I could easily, just because I believe something, say something that's anti-establishment, anti-Biden, anti-this, anti-that. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't hold myself back. Like I can't like play nice if I believe the system's broken.
Yeah, no, I agree, and so it should be.
I'm not as vocal as Leia. But I mean, I am vocal. I mean, it is a risk. It is quite scary.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's also scary because we operate on YouTube and we are quite outspoken about some things. Definitely, Rania, you don't exactly hold back on your feelings about Biden and the Democrats and the SEC. So it's like, I don't know. I don't really know what to do because I also agree with a lot of it, but it's like, what's at stake?
Well, what Brand was doing is he was on Rumble. He's been saying that this will happen he's known this was coming. I mean, he thinks, he was saying that it's going to get like banned completely at some point, but he streams on Rumble and he puts the full videos with all the controversial stuff on Rumble because apparently they're a bit more lenient.
Yeah, Rumble's a little bit more decentralized.
I mean, also Twitter. I mean, every time they do this, they actually just make Twitter stronger.
Yeah, that's also a good point. I mean, like look, so long as there's like, yeah, I mean, there is a fine line. It depends, like, you know, Mr. Beast, for example, like it depends how you go about delivering it. You have to be smart and tactful about it, but at the same time, when you can still say what it is that you want. So I mean, there's differences between like how it's voiced. I mean, so long as what it is that's being said is being replicated by other prominent people that are in the spotlight as well, then I feel like you're going to be pretty much okay. Like with Russell Brand and co, like they really are digging in to find like the deepest, darkest, dirtiest shit that they can find and bring to light. There's not enough of an audience that's also doing the same thing to make it tolerable. That's why it's like they go after those sorts of people. But if there's like 15 people on Twitter or YouTube all saying that Biden likes sniffing young girls' hair, then like enough people have said it that it's not going to be so shocking.
No, it's not true. The COVID vaccine, enough people said the COVID vaccine, they all got removed.
If you look at the people that got removed from it, though, there was a difference in what they were sharing versus what not sharing.
Yeah, so you have to be careful. Anyway, let's talk about content.
Yeah. Okay, so BitBoy is in the limelight well and truly again.
Yeah, fuck.
Begging for money. Such a bad look.
Yeah, I mean, that wallet is already over. Hang on, I'm just going to refresh it right now. That wallet now has $51,000 in it.
Could we donate?
I was going to offer him to say, look, if you want to start a new channel, we'll fund it. But Fred said no. Fred said it's just, like there's some people we don't really want to, like support or back.
Well, let me rephrase it. Let me rephrase it. I think
it's not public or anything.
We can be supportive of him. We can be friends of his. I just think at this point, we've got a lot to lose, and he seemingly doesn't have much more to lose. I don't think we should align at a business level. I don't know. Happy to be wrong.
I agree. I think it'd be tempting. I think we'd spend half the time disciplining him.
Okay, so like an interesting transaction that literally
in
just
court.
took place 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So a transaction that just took place 5 minutes ago came from Ben.eth to BitBoy's account as well for 5 ETH.
Aren't they?
I mean, do we send? Do we send a tweet out saying, "Hey Ben, if you want us to fund your new channel, let's talk," something like that?
Well, like if you want to fund it, why don't you just donate? Like we don't have to get involved.
Because then I'm not interested. I'm not interested in donating money to Ben Armstrong. I'm interested in if he wants to do a business deal. If he wants to do a business deal, let's do a business deal. But then again, I don't know if I want to be his business partner.
You can be an angel investor if you want. Take an indirect route.
Okay. Kapoor, can't you sort out your sound? You got this every day. You got the same issue with your sound. Where can you not get AirPods or earphones or something?
I'll fix it. Yeah.
It's very hard. Same thing happened yesterday as well. Yeah. Okay.
Not to say anything bad about Ben, but like looking at this video, I was like, I had two thoughts. Number one is no matter how up you are, no matter, it can literally collapse within weeks. It's just, this shall pass. Tom Hanks said as well. No matter if you have a bad day, good day, whatever. And the second thing is like he's flexing a Rolex before, again, not judging, but he's flexing a Rolex and whatever. And he's like, yeah, I'm coming back. And then 2 weeks later, a week later, he's like, send me money for. I just don't know. Like, either be honest or not be honest. But he's still very confused. Like I think he's just. I don't know what he's going through. Maybe, biology and still having these testosterone and all that issue. But it's like coming out one day saying we have a rollout, coming back strong, and then next day just send me money to my Ethereum address to fund my case. I mean, no, I don't. Yeah, I would not.
I wouldn't either. Especially because last year or whenever it was, when there was a guy that made a YouTube video about exposing him as a scam, and BitBoy just started slapping him with lawsuits and tried sinking this dude. And he did a massive GoFundMe, and they dropped the case after the GoFundMe raised an insane amount of money. And now he's in the exact same spot. So it's
let's get moving. So Ben, we'll do a little section on Ben today. If nothing else happens, because I don't really think we should do an FOMC thumbnail, because later on tonight we're going to be trading FOMC. So I think we should avoid it. Yeah, I think we don't do an FOMC thumbnail. We do I don't know what it's going to be. I'm just saying one of the options is.
You are on Spaces too, by the way. I'm
on Spaces, but at 7:45 South African, I'm dropping off the Spaces and they can carry on. I find with the Spaces anyway. I can't get a word in Edgewords, but it's like let me rather go and have fun on YouTube, where at least I can have fun, as opposed to like be there and like not be able to say anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so I'll be on.
Sorry, I was just gonna ask how's the Spaces business going? Because I haven't, since it's a bit later for me now, I haven't been joining. Like, how's everything going on that side?
It's going well. It's going very well. I mean, there's not been much big news, so we haven't actually had like a real opportunity, if you know what I mean. But I think also we need more sponsorship, which David's working on at the moment. So
have you fixed this monetization problem? I guess it's kind of hard to convert, right?
No, I don't think anyone has. I don't think anyone has. I think we need to just accept that for now it's a lot more brand awareness, and then until we can find a model which converts.
Yeah, it's all about expectation management with the sponsors, to let them know that it's purely an awareness play.
For now,
and don't get their
until we can find. Yeah. Guys, another thing is I'm realizing that these YouTube tweets putting the link underneath doesn't work. It's not making much of a difference. So let's go back to the old way and not have to do two tweets, if you know what I'm saying.
But I think the tweets themselves are getting much better engagement. I'm noticing.
Are they?
Like the actual, yeah. I mean, Kaylin can confirm. I mean, I'd like to hear her thoughts, but it seems like we're getting like, some are getting 200 likes. And whereas last time it was like, if we break 100, it's like, oh, that's a good tweet. Now they're all kind of getting 150 to between 150 and 200. So,
okay.
I think it's a bit more, you need to compare the comment, how much views the comment is getting in relation to the previous engagement. I think there's a discrepancy there of how many people actually see the comment afterwards that actually takes them to the video.
You see my little chess move yesterday with Andy, because I remember I said to you I was going to play a move. I didn't want to talk about it on the call. I didn't want people to know what my next move was. What was it? With the trading show, with the trading competition, saying if Sheldon's teaming up with Dylan, then I'm teaming up with Andy.
Is that what you're doing?
So I've got the community to vote right now. The community is voting yes.
Sounds like a good competition. I'm looking forward to this.
It's going to be fun. No, it's going to be proper fun.
It's going to be so fun.
It's going to be so fun, and we're going to kick your ass, and it's a shame.
Can't wait. Can't wait.
Yeah, I mean, basically, yeah, we'll teach you. Annie and I will teach you a few tricks, a few like way to put the lines in the chart.
I'll do my talking afterwards. I'm not going to talk a big game till we're done there. We'll see how it goes. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah. Another thing, guys. From today, let's push people into Banter Plus. So every show, every host, guys, remember there's a lot more trading content coming up on Banter Plus. Please go, if you're not already registered, sign up there. We're going to be updating you on trade. Let's try and migrate as many people as we can to Banter Plus, because we're launching Dylan's show and a whole lot of other shows in earnest after Friday. Then remember on Friday, there's the whole day meeting. It's not all day. It's going to be 9:15 South Africa to 4 p.m. South Africa, because of my man's birthday is at 4. And then if you live in South Africa, or if you want to fly to South Africa for the meeting, you can join us for dinner. We're going to go somewhere for dinner, and we're going to get drunk and have a great time. So yeah, if anybody wants to, do
you want to spot me a flight from Indonesia?
Not particularly.
Yeah, FOMO, bro. FOMO. You can also include Europe if you're there.
I mean, like, I'm telling you, if you did, I'd get on the plane tomorrow and I'd be there.
Yeah.
I think it's time that Ben Trump upgrades and we do all this.
Annie, are you by any chance getting the itch to jump on a plane?
Maybe. It's only been a day.
Yeah, if you do, you're more than welcome. I'd love it if you did, but I mean, you've just come back from fucking Singapore. But yeah, so that's Friday. Friday's a big day for us because there's a lot of content. And remember, if you're joining us on Friday, make sure that you have your camera on and that you're sitting somewhere where you can make notes and contribute. No cars, no miles, no yachts. Yeah, I don't know if Ray's on the call, but Ray, no massages. Like, it's a business meeting.
Okay, so it's 10 a.m. South African now, not 9:15 or 9 o'clock until 4 p.m.
9:15 South African. 9:15 South African.
Until 4 p.m.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And then again, the newsroom, the Banter newsroom is launching today, hopefully by the time our show launches. So the newsroom will be live. So yeah, you guys will see a new feature.
Can you elaborate on that, Ran? So it's like it's gonna be on Banter Bubble. There will everything that we post in Telegram will show up on Banter Bubble. Is that what it is?
Yeah. Yes. There'll be a sidebar on Banter Bubbles, and that sidebar on Banter Bubbles, the sidebar on Banter Bubbles will be what's the name? Will be like a news feed, like a Bloomberg. So the idea is you're going to be able to see the news as quickly as it's moving, and in parallel, right next to it, you're going to be able to see the bubbles and how they're responding. That's the idea.
Oh, it's gonna be cool.
Yeah, that's the vision. That's the vision. Yeah. All right, let's go. More content. So we've got BitBoy, we've got FOMC. FOMC.
Just on the BitBoy thing, it's there's a few things. Well, like first of all, yeah, he's clearly, the comments are really bad on him, and people are going against him and stuff and making fun of him, which of course they will, but like they're now beating at him when he's literally at his lowest. I kind of believe what he's saying in that they've taken everything, and I presume they have. And legal battles are expensive, so that's probably why he's asking for all these donations. But yeah, the video is like, there's the video, there's a few mean comments, there's the wallet to show, there's the show who's been donating. Ben.eth, who that he had fallen out with, is now donating. So like there's a few bits there just to wrap that section up. And I don't know if you want to go.
Guys, just sorry, 1 sec. Fred, you dropped a tile in the management group with me, Annie Sheldon says how to win big with futures trading competition. What is that? Oh, it's a Twitter Spaces. Sorry, my bad. Sorry, my bad. Sorry, I thought, yeah. Sorry, I thought it was a tutorial that's dropping. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah, no, that was just the BitBoy section. Like there's a little bit there, and I don't know if you want to go the BitBoy tile and title route, but yeah, that's the BitBoy story.
I want to hear what else there is before we make any conclusions. But I mean, I'm not jumping to conclusions. But I do. BitBoy is definitely an option. Look, we know that on FOMC day the show's not going to do well anyway because it's going to be killed by FOMC, right?
Yep. It's fair.
So you might as well have some fun with the main show, and then go straight into FOMC and do the FOMC.
I don't know if you saw yesterday, the SEC, well, he's labeled as the crypto enforcement chief. He said that there's going to be more charges coming to exchanges, especially DeFi. So he explicitly said that Coinbase and Binance won't be the only two. In the coming weeks, months, we will be clamping down on exchanges, other exchanges, and DeFi in particular. DeFi is not safe from whatever. So
right. I need that, and I need that mixed with the sponsorships today. So today will be NordVPN.
Oh yeah, that's fair. That's
yeah. Guys, just confirming. Sorry, just confirming if I'm still echoing this side.
Nope.
No. Okay. Thanks, man.
Yeah, I was just saying. What we can do is, this story SEC one, we can also connect it by saying that the recent cases have been, seen as a loser for SEC. The Grayscale, Ripple, and the latest one with Binance.
Yep. Joe, I've got some nice stuff on NordVPN. Well, I'll send it to you.
Yep, that's cool.
Yeah, yeah.
The other thing, I know you've shown it twice, but we haven't connected these two dots. I've forgotten to, or haven't realized that you have said that September is going to be closed green. The only 2 times that September has closed green, we've had a final green Q4. When I say Q4, October, November, and December have all been green. So if September closes,
that's my prediction. That's my prediction.
Okay. So that's like a little bit of an intro thing just to show. The other one was there was a research thing. You're kind of pushing this India thing, which I get. There was a chain analysis research report that came out yesterday, and obviously United States are top countries by cryptocurrency value received. India is now in second, and it's trumping the UK. And there just seems to be a lot of
I saw that.
Indian crypto side of things, like even from my experience in these applications that I've received and interviews, the majority have been India.
Let's build an India section. Let's go all in.
The also Kujira. I don't know if you've seen Kujira's TVL. It's been like going up and up and up. It's since the show yesterday, it's up another $6 million. So I don't know what's going on there. What else?
So I have something.
Go.
So I think yesterday there was a new L2 that was announced, which is really, really interesting compared to all the ones we've heard of so far. Is it's like now the lines of blockchains are like blurring out, because now we have like a new L2, which is which like overlaps Ethereum, Solana, and Cosmos. So it's like a best of all the three worlds. So that architecture sounds very interesting.
Wasn't it Asta?
No, it's Eclipse.
Eclipse.
So Eclipse uses Solana. So Eclipse will use Solana's SVM, Solana virtual machine, which gives it the Solana's execution engine, which makes it fast, and it uses Ethereum settlement, which is extremely cheap. Like all the L2s pay around $5 for settlement. It's like extremely cheap for these L2s, and then it uses Celestia, which is like a data availability layer. To summarize, you can say it's like a storage layer. You store all your data to prove that it's there. Like, you can check it, verify it. So it's like data availability is a big problem, because Ethereum like takes 70% of all the L2 fees for data availability, but Celestia takes like 100 times lesser fees for that. The cost for these L2s are going to be much, much, much cheaper. So it's like taking the best of all the three worlds. And now you also have Cosmos IBC integrated as well to this Eclipse L2. So it's like very interesting. So now when you build a dApp on Eclipse, which chain are you really on? Like, that's the big question. So basically now what's happening is the whole modular blockchain narrative is kind of shaping up, which I've been very vocal about for a while. And then we are seeing that first like official shipping of that particular concept of modular blockchains. And then I think we'll see more and more L2s and roll-ups, and which kind of intersects different chains coming up. And something interesting I've noticed about this Eclipse is, so I heard the founders interview on Bankless yesterday, and when Ryan Sean Adams asked him about airdrop, he giggled. He giggled.
Okay.
So yeah, he giggled, and then he said, "Not yet. We might." He said, "No, so far we're not thinking about it, but maybe," something like that. He was very hesitant, but he was giggled about it. So that's like a clear indication that they're clearly looking at a token, and I would be very interested in this token, but because the architecture is really interesting. Now it all ends up depending upon how it gains traction, and does it even gain traction? People are gonna even like it or understand it, because this makes the whole L2 space more complex. And the investors or the crowd, they'll be confused. Like, when bull market comes there, and everybody is, kind of looking for the next gem, they would never know which, token to invest in if it intersects too many chains, and, it gets really confusing and blurry for investors or retail to get into. That is one.
It interests me because I think that's the future. The future is, I don't really care which, in fact, not that I don't care which chain I'm on. Take me to the chain that is most applicable to the specific type of transaction that I want to do. That's the chain that I want to be on. I want to be on the chain that is the most applicable to the transaction that I want to make.
Yes, from that point of view, yes, this architecture is very, very, very new, but at the same time very interesting, because a lot of people are gonna derive a lot of value out of these kind of products. Just like Solana, right? You get so much value out of it as a user, because I farmed airdrops for the last 6-8 months, and I spent over $100 or something in gas fees, like within so many L2s, multiple L2s. Like on Solana, I do DeFi stuff. I barely noticed my SOL position, like my SOL in my wallet going down. Like, that's gonna be used in the bull market, because even these L2s like Arbitrum, Optimism, if GMX volume just spikes and does great volume in the bull market, the Arbitrum's gas fees are gonna spike. Like, it'll go to $5, $4, $3 per transaction. That's the flaw of EVM. That's exactly you need to fix if you want to scale blockchains, and all these L2s have the same architecture that Ethereum has. So
yeah, I'll listen to that Ryan Sean Adams interview. So let's carry on. I'll listen to the interview.
Yeah.
What else, guys?
We've got another news, so two more news, which I'm not sure, not too big though. So Standard Chartered, which is British bank, they've got a crypto arm called Zodia Custody, and now they are bringing in staking services as well for the clients, retail clients, and they also have real world assets. So they are already ahead of LSEG, London Stock Exchange.
What kind of staking? Proof of stake staking.
Yeah, but I'm reading into it. So there's a blog, and yeah, I'm reading into it. It can be a mini section that another bank is coming in. So
one thing that people aren't realizing.
When did it happen?
The blog is literally new, like
it came out yesterday, Ryan. They are providing yield services basically. That's what came out yesterday. Today they came out with the latest update saying it's more staking service.
So it's staking.
Yeah. So now the clients can stake their whatever Ether and then get 5% whatever. So say they're going to be custodying, right? So they'll say, hey, you will get your 5%. Don't worry about it. You won't lose your asset. So that's the deal, I guess. So institutions might come in and say, oh, they're providing they provide great security. So let me just go stake my 10 million worth of ETH for 3 or 4% of interest rates when the bull market comes and when the treasuries are like not giving that much of yield.
Yep. So good thing to see here is that they are coming in indirectly, Standard Chartered.
What do you mean indirectly?
So I mean they've got a crypto arm who's doing it. They're not it's not publicized as their own business because of the regulations, I believe, and they've got a reputation and all.
Are they outsourcing or do they own?
They own this. They own this.
So it's like it's their their leg, one of their legs.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, basically similar to how Jump has the Jump Capital and Jump Crypto.
So they own it.
I mean, yeah, technically that should make.
Yeah, we can do something on that, and yeah.
They own it, right? It's
they
not that they're outsourcing to some other company. They own it.
Yes.
So the question is, if they own it, did they buy it, or did they build it?
Need to check that.
Yeah,
if they bought the company or built it. Yeah, it should be, they should have bought this company, not built it from scratch. But
yeah,
we can get into this. We can research more on this. And also, now that we are not talking about FOMC, I thought that, we have NVIDIA again in headlines. So the CEO is selling more shares, and he has sold a lot of shares in the past 3 months.
What percentage of his shares? What percentage of his shares is he selling?
Just look at the amount of shares he owns, and I'll give you the exact number. I actually tweeted about it as well. It's like it's
less.
It's so less that it's not even like it's like an error sort of less. You can disregard it as a operational error. It's that small.
Yeah, the only thing is, it's become a pattern now. He's been doing that from past 3 months. And at the same time, I saw that hedge funds are shorting semiconductor stocks at the highest level right now. So I was just, trying to connect these two stories.
Yeah, okay.
So, if we connect these two stories and, we can put that with the FOMC section because, like we have talked about the credit event. I'm not bearish here. I'm not bearish, but just, to show the audience that hedge funds are doing something with the semiconductors, and NVIDIA CEO is also selling from past 3 months. Obviously, he's not going to sell a lot of it because NVIDIA did the buyback as well. So he will sell slowly.
If we're going to show that he's selling, I want to know what percentage of his stock he's selling.
Yeah, so he has in total he sold 89,000 shares, which is worth about $42 million. In total, Huang has sold about $70 million worth of NVIDIA shares, and now here's the punchline. He has 86 million shares. So he hasn't even sold the dollar value.
Not even 1%.
Yeah, it's less because he hasn't even sold the dollar value of it. He sold 70 million in total dollars, and he has 86 million shares.
Yeah, but this time,
he sold not even 1% of his shares.
Exactly, it's negligible. And by the way, the companies, when they make money, they're supposed to actually make that unrealized gains into gains. And even then, it's like a fraction.
I was gonna say, it's also it's an accounting thing as well. He has to sell.
Why does
and it's like, I don't know. I just saw the Twitter was full of these. Does he know something we don't know? He just knows how to fucking make money and not being bag holder.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you can call it NVIDIA bag holder, but yeah.
No, I was referring to crypto bros who want everybody to hold on to Valhalla.
We can have a look, in the past 3 months how much he has sold. If it's a significant amount, then we can build on this. If it's not, then we can let it go. Or maybe we can talk about that it's so less that people should not focus on it.
Fred knows where Valhalla is. He's been there a few times.
I love that.
I mean, with the FOMC meeting, so the important thing is to watch the Fed fund rate. So if the Fed fund rate stays the same on what they currently have, and there is no rate change today, which obviously doesn't appear that there will be, then there's a higher likelihood that the rate hikes are done. If the Fed fund rate increases,
why?
And the
what's the logic?
Stays, well, because if the Fed fund rate increases, then they're anticipating another rate hike. If it stays the same, then they're happy with the rates where they are. So if we get no hike today and the fund rate stays the same, then it's more likely that they're done raising. If it stays the same today and the Fed fund rate projection increases, then it's more likely we get another rate in October or November.
Okay.
So if the market sells off today and they don't do anything and they revise the fund rate, then that's most likely why. Just FYI.
Okay.
I don't know. Do you think that there was a few interesting things. Do you think that Coinbase International will ever turn to retail investors and not just non-US institutional players? Like as in,
yeah, I do.
Because there was a pretty interesting data point yesterday. I'm trying to find it. It was that if with Binance obviously losing market share, now would be a good time to potentially start opening up for these retail clients, because there's actually a decent good few pairs on Coinbase International. And plus the quote was, if Coinbase International sees 25% of Binance's current futures volume, even under a low fee scenario, it would generate $1.8 billion in additional revenue, which would nearly double its total transaction revenue in 2022. So it seems like a no-brainer to eventually, in a couple months / weeks, to open up to retail and try and capitalize on this Binance losing market share before all of these Bybits and stuff starts stealing them again. I don't know, just it's interesting. Like there's so much opportunity here for Coinbase too.
I didn't realize that Coinbase International was only institutional.
Yeah, it's solely non-US based institutions. That's it for now.
Okay. What else?
Other end, Balancer front end was hacked.
238,000.
Yeah, so far, yeah.
Isn't that like the third hack they've had in the last month? 6 weeks? They've had two, definitely. But yeah, it's up to $240,000. Not a whole lot, but something. There's still inefficiencies in their front ends.
Yes. Oh, there was an article. I think I posted it in the group. I have to go back and find it. But there was an article on cross-chain bridges and the amount of fraudulent activity / money that has been stolen, and criminal organizations using bridges and their vulnerability. I remember you speaking about bridges, Rand. So
also Sifu. Sifu just stays quiet and does his thing. He's a very successful trader on chain. He's just gone short, so that's
Zero X Sifu. I saw he went short
20
million, notional 20 million.
Yeah,
I think he's
that
just
name brings back.
Yeah, but he's a very good trader. All things considered.
I think he's just taking a punt.
Is that the 20 million ETH short position, right?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Okay, guys. Let's keep looking.
Actually, something else I read yesterday was that so SPF's dad, when he was working for FTX, he sent an email to SPF for a salary raise, and he also like scared him, saying that if he doesn't raise, he's gonna tell his mom that he's not gonna raise the salary. This is a funny thing which you could share probably. I thought I would.
Yeah, they took out I think he received $20 or $30 million for donations. They also refurbished the house. They bought a load of things with the money, and he was paying his dad a salary.
Stanford returned the donation, $5.6 million in donations back to the currently run FTX.
Let's do a little section on our friend SPF and Daddy and Mommy. I'll call Mommy and then Stanford return the money.
Okay.
Because you know why? Because not many of you will understand this. But if you've got a Jewish mommy, you know the guilt of what a Jewish mommy. The guilt of a Jewish mommy is like it's like a prison sentence. So I know exactly. He says, "I'll tell mommy when." If my dad says, "I'll tell mommy," bro, you don't want to go there. Like as a Jew, when you got Jewish mommy guilt, it's you got to be very careful about Jewish mommy guilt. So
all right, quick joke. How do you know it's a Jewish house?
How?
There's condoms on the washing line.
Oh God.
What?
Oh God. I think now the quality of this call is getting a bit. See you guys later.
No more juice. No more juice in the lemon.
No, there's no more water in this lemon, bro. There's no more juice. It was never juice, and it was even now. There's not even water in the lemon anymore. Yeah.
All right,
Goodbye, guys.
See you, buddy.